Hello, welcome back to my sacred ministry. Today is May 26th. It is the Gemini new moon, which we are going to speak about. We're going to talk about a few things actually today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. It does assist this process, and I am grateful. Thank you. I don't know what's up with this camera angle. Seems weird. Oh well. Okay. So currently, the current time, Eastern Standard Time, oh my gosh, is 3:04 p.m. And I'm looking at the current astrology. We have the moon and Mercury both at 1 degree of Gemini. Powerful communication. And the sun is currently at 5 degrees of Gemini. Wow. And they are all in very harmonious aspects to Saturn, which is now 0 degrees of Aries. Also to Pluto, which is 3 degrees of Aquarius retrograde. The overall feeling is we've done it, we've made it, we're here. Congratulations. If you're someone that has been doing the work, there we go, and following guidance and being on your path in the right direction, then your ships are coming in. They're here. They are here. We have officially stepped into the next chapter. We have officially stepped into Age of Aquarius. Saturn and Neptune are conjunct, sitting next to each other in Aries. Venus is there and Chiron is there. Venus is at a harmonious aspect to Mars, which is 18 degrees, 18 minutes. 1818 is the number of the moon. Interestingly enough, new moons are meant for new births, for new ideas, innovation, etc. And this new moon being in the sign of Gemini, which is an air sign, okay, cross-pollination, thoughts to vision, and Neptune 404 on the camera means that you are protected from all sides. There's brilliance that is streaming through, clarity, connections are being made, understandings are being given from higher self, from spirit, from God, however you would like to look at that. Now, I received an understanding yesterday that was incredibly helpful, and I'm going to share that with you because I think that it brings a significant amount of clarity to how we experience energy. Okay? Now, first, before I do that, I'm going to talk to you about a concept related to law of attraction. And the concept is do nothing, attract everything. There are times when it is perceived that it works this way. And it does, in fact, work this way. However, there is more to it. Okay? The first idea behind this, or example that I can give you, is if you think of a king or a queen, they do very little, 555, very little output, and they are supplied. Okay? People come to them. They don't rush around. They don't fight to prove their value, their worthiness. They are simply supplied. Okay? So they're going to be on the top. And those underneath are bringing it to them. This could also be seen as the individual in the household with the most power, and usually that's financial power, does the least amount. Because there is inherent value in financial power. Okay? Now, when it comes to the queen, she sits on top. Okay? And people come to her because what they are doing is they are looking for the answer. They are giving reciprocity for her leadership, her brilliance, for her ability to decide. So while she's not physically moving, she's using her intellect and her energy to guide, lead, fix, resolve, what have you, make decisions for her 808, for her household, community, etc. And she is compensated for that. Now, you don't become a queen overnight. That is a whole process of becoming that she has already gone through, where she, unless she was born into it, in which case she still had to learn how to do it. So it's a reciprocation for the effort of becoming, of learning and becoming. So going back to this understanding, if you want to have power like the queen, then you must develop yourself. You must feed your mind and your heart information that will evolve you, so that when someone outside of you has an issue that they need solved, they can come to you for that answer and be more than happy to provide reciprocity for your assistance, for your leadership. Okay? So the second example is when we are, let's say, starting a business and we desire our income to come from that business. And instead, it's coming from our significant other. And the business is suffering. And we're doing and we're doing and we're pouring into and we have effort towards and we're, trying to control the situation within the business because that is where we prefer to receive our support from. The reason why this doesn't work, okay, when you receive money through one source, but your intention is to receive it through another, you resist the situation rather than embrace it. So you're in an energy of resistance, an energy of control. Okay? What happens is you cut the flow that you actually want because it's linked to negative emotions. That flow of income is now linked to scarcity. The feeling of scarcity, the feeling of frustration, the feeling of wanting and forcing and, rumination. And it stops the flow because abundance is not a match to that energy. Now, the spouse who's supplying loves you and you love your spouse, ideally. And so there's no resistance there. So it flows because it matches. Okay? Focus instead, if you find yourself in this situation, focus instead on creating new avenues from which abundance can flow to you and appreciating the ones that currently exist. So let's say, same example, you are starting a business and you have a spouse and your business is not bringing in what you desire it to bring in. But the spouse has no issue giving you supply. Focus on the spouse giving you supply and be grateful. Do what you can to set the foundation for the business and then take your hands off it and put your attention on other things that you can create in the meantime. Because it'll come when it's meant to come in the business. Nothing is wasted, no effort is wasted. But we can stagnate ourselves by trying to manipulate an outcome that isn't ready to come through for whatever reason. And the fastest way to remedy that is to develop yourself, to become the energy you wish to bring towards you. That makes sense. The next idea for example, managing your day versus letting your day unfold. Now, we typically associate structure and organization with someone who's more effective, someone who's more proactive, someone who's more who makes more progress because of their organization. And while organization and structure is good and definitely needed as part of the process, if you overly structure yourself, you cut off room for inspiration, 1616. And it is the inspiration that is driving the whole thing. So, you cannot force inspiration. It has to flow to you. Okay? That flow, that connection has to be unblocked. It has to be available to you. And if you have scheduled and structured and done all the things and sat down and said, okay, this is when I'm going to come up with the title to my new book, right now, right here, that's it, because I got an appointment in 20 minutes. You may, but you probably won't. Because you're blocking inspiration from flowing to you. Especially if you don't want to do it, which is typically what happens when you overly structure your day, is that you start to resent it. Not everyone and not all the time. But it gets tedious. And because we are ever changing, ever evolving, what works for us yesterday may not work for us tomorrow. Okay? When you feel blocked or resistant to something, you're attempting to force inspiration. For example, you have a job. It's every day from 9 to 5. Your alarm goes off at 7. You know you have to get up, but you don't want to. You don't want to. You got to get up, you got to, do your routine in the morning, but you don't want to. But you force yourself to do it. You're not actually inspired to do it. You're forcing it, which means that the emotions that are attached here are very low. Sense of duty can get you a long way, but it can't get you all the way there. Your first duty is to yourself. Your first job is to fix your vibration, to get into alignment within yourself. If you are forcing your day, you are out of alignment, pretty much guaranteed. You're not enjoying it. No one enjoys to be forced. Okay? What you can do instead is have a general outline to your day. Have an idea of the things that you'd like to get done. Okay? And kind of the way that you desire it to flow. However, if you reach a place of resistance, you have to change something. You have to change something so that you can get out of the vibration of the problem or the resistance and get into alignment with the solution. Get back into flow so that the inspiration can come to you. Okay? So you can change the appointments, change the sequence, or the scenery. Okay? And when you do that, you give space, you open up space for whatever is needed to come to you. And you allow it to. You are in an allowing, receptive energy versus a forcing and pushing energy. That makes sense. The next thing, anxiety. When we experience anxiety, and many people do, it used to be a thing for me. I took medication, the whole thing. And this particular understanding really made things easier for me. Anxiety is a directional cue. And I got this practice from Andrea Schulman from one of her videos, and it's brilliant. Anxiety is a directional cue. When you experience anxiety, when you're thinking about something, think of it being a stop sign. And that stop sign telling you, you don't need to worry about this. You don't need to think about this. You don't need to ruminate on it. That's why you're experiencing anxiety. Stop. Go do something else. This is handled. You've already done what you can do. It requires no further effort, no further mental effort. Okay? So when you feel anxiety within your being, that is your being telling you, you don't need to worry about this. Stop. Go do something else. Change your focus. This is already done. It's already taken care of. No more anxiety. No more worry. Now we're doing something else, and we feel confident in the result of the thing that we were having anxiety about. And we're back up in a positive emotion, in a positive energy. Try that practice. That was really helpful. Okay, the next thing, concept, point. As it currently stands, in my generation or my lifetime, and I am 42, we have been trained to be workers, okay, who must prove their value to some authority or superior power, whether that be your parents, your teacher, or your boss. We have been conditioned to be workers, okay, for someone else's approval, to prove our value. And we're all in this boat. At least we start out that way, okay? It's actually the opposite. Because God is within you. He's not outside of you. You don't have to do good works to earn His love. It doesn't work that way. He's everything. So it does exist outside of you. But that is your base energy. You were created from God source energy. It is in every cell, every fiber of your being. That is your creative force. It is your makeup with the ability to create. You are the superior power. The only person that you are proving your value to is yourself. We would liken that to the idea of goals. You're proving yourself to yourself. Okay? When you understand that God is within you, you realize and align with the responsibility to develop yourself. Your work then becomes about conscious creation that holds inherent value from the beginning all the way through. As it, 26, as in, you came here fully equipped. You are not missing anything. All of the base components needed for success are already within you. It is your responsibility to develop them. Sorry. Okay? That is where your focus should be. As you develop and you rise, so too does that which you bring towards yourself and your understanding of the power of your words, the power of your actions, the power of your thoughts. What are you creating as a God source being? What are you feeding yourself? It is one of the most important things to consider. The next point. Problems in your life can, and this kind of goes along with the last one. Problems in your life can and will solve themselves if you detach rather than stick to the problem. Why is that? Because in that moment you're aligning with the problem. Therefore, the solution cannot come to you. You have to stop, detach, and switch your energy so that you can align with the solution. There was a saying that I heard a while ago that a problem cannot be solved from the same energy that it was created. And it's true. It's absolutely true. You can either align to the problem or you can align to the solution, but you can't do both. You have to pick one. So let's say you have a small issue. You're running late for work. Happens to a lot of people. Traffic is ridiculous. The more you try to force it, the later it gets. If instead you decide, you know what, it's fine. It's fine. It's, it's helping me out. I don't know why, but it's helping me out. Let me focus on what am I gonna prepare for meals for the rest of the week for my family. Maybe it's an intricate thing. So you start thinking about that and you decide, you know what? When I get to work, it's going to be fine. And then you arrive at work 10 minutes late and discover that your boss is also late. or the meeting that was scheduled has either been canceled or been bumped back with zero input from you. Whatever it was, or you made it there faster than you thought you would. And so you weren't actually that late. Because you aligned with a possible solution. Somehow it's going to work out. Maybe the boss is late too. Maybe he's caught in the same traffic that I'm in. Maybe the people that we had a meeting with this morning are also in this traffic. Maybe they canceled. Maybe they rescheduled for a day when more people would be available. Whatever it is, you're aligning to a solution. It doesn't have to be accurate either. The point is that you're taking yourself out of the energy of the problem and you're bringing it to the energy of a solution, and you're opening up to allow the information to come to you or the result, if that makes sense. Money is not attracted to your action. Money is attracted to your vibration. It will match your energy state. Money is energy. Everything is energy. Which leads me to the second part of this lesson that I wanted to bring to you. There are 3 types of human beings. And of those 3 types, they process energy differently, and they evolve their consciousness in 3 separate ways. And they can intermatch, interconnected. We are every human being is a multidimensional being, is vibrating at a frequency, is creating an energy signature. Okay? Now, there are 3 types of people, human beings, 3 ways that they react and experience energy. The first being is someone who their outside surroundings dictate their inner vibration. So if the outside surroundings are very upsetting, their inner world is going to be very upset. And it's kind of like if you're standing in water and the water is at a certain level, your inner water is going to match it. Okay? So it kind of just flows into you and flows out. But your outside experience is absolutely dictating your inner experience. In this case, if you are in an environment that has a very low vibration, you will also have a very low vibration. So if you resonate with that, you need to take yourself to an environment that has a high vibration, positive and expansive, in order for you to stay there consistently. The second is an individual who is affected by environment and then reproduces it. Okay? So and pushes that out. So if a person is in a negative environment, is absorbing that negativity and then is creating it forcefully, actively. If the person is in a high vibrational environment, they're going to take that in and they're going to create it. But they're not in control necessarily of what they're creating. They are creating according to their environment. That's example number 2. Example number 3 is a being who transmutes the energy. And if you think of a tree and the leaves, how it cleans the air, so it pulls the toxins in from the air and then produces oxygen. So it pulls in the darkness and produces light. Its inner world is light, 3636. And however, that light can become clogged because it's constantly cleansing the energy, whether it wants to or not. As long as it's alive, it's a continuous process. So it's always pulling things in and giving out oxygen. And in the case of a person, light. People with this energy signature have to cleanse every day, or they just cannot function. These are the people that are uplifting consciousness within the field, because they're doing it simply by existing. They are not responding to a stimulus and creating because of it. They are not in an allowing state of, well, everybody's doing it, so I guess I will do it too. They are actively caretaking constantly, which means they're bringing all of that energy into their being and they're transmuting that darkness and giving light. And whether they're awake or sleeping, this is happening. I say all of this to say, and this is related to human design, if you're familiar with human design. Right now, the toxicity level is high. The intensity of the energy on the planet is high. People are really going through it without an understanding of why or what is happening. Your inner world dictates what you create, and your external world influences your inner world. So you have to come to an understanding of how you work with energy. If it just flows through you, if you take it in and reproduce it, or if you are cleaning constantly and taking it in and giving light. Okay? So if that is you, if you are the third, you need a continuous supply of cleansing and light. You need rest. You need support. And you need to be very conscious of your energy levels. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time. a really hard time. And things are intense, okay? Now, this is another reason why there is a rise in food sensitivity. Because there's a rise in the chemical components that are going into food and or creating the food. And the body, because of the environment that we're currently in, that toxicity is too much at this point. Unless you've been taking care of yourself, taking care of your energy, making choices that actually put you on path for what you came here to do. Now, the other side of this is consciousness. Consciousness is, especially now, we just started a new cycle, so it's gonna get interesting in like the best way. But karma is coming into balance. Saturn moving into Aries is karma coming into balance. Whatever side you fall on, you will be receiving your payment. Now, when this happens, learning occurs, regardless. An expansion of awareness occurs. And there are 3 ways that people expand their consciousness. The first way is a mind expansion. Like the brain just goes, but the body pretty much stays the same. Or its process is significantly slower. But they have a greater understanding of intellectual concepts, science, okay? The second one is people who have abilities that awaken. So claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, okay? But their physical body and their intellect stay kind of the same or grow and evolve slower. But they have these other channels that have opened up and they're receiving the information and they're integrating it into their mind, body, heart experience. The first example with the mind expansion, that information is being worked into the consciousness of the system over time. The third is the same being that is the cleaner. Every cell in the body becomes conscious and awakens, steadily increasing. Every cell in the body becomes conscious. Some people would consider this extreme sensitivity and look at it as a problem. It's not a problem. It's an evolution. It's an upgrade. Your body is able to interpret information to a degree that many others cannot. This is a superpower and should be treated as such. Instead of trying to get rid of the sensitivity, let us understand what the sensitivity is telling us about our environment or our food or our own behavior, routine, beliefs, what have you. We don't want to get rid of it. We want to embrace it. Because this is the developmental process for our being. Our being. And everybody is different and falls into different categories, the way that they experience energy. And knowing how you experience energy will unlock how you can create effectively as a creator being. How are you evolving your consciousness? And whatever it is, lean into it. Develop it. Develop it because you are preparing yourself to be the king or the queen of your life, where you receive that which you desire. It flows to you because of who you are. So in that, you do very little, but be you, and you receive all that you ask for as payment. This is how it works. I hope that that was understandable and that it brought some clarity for each and every one and what they're experiencing within their body and within their environment. If you desire private counsel to go over a question or an issue, I do provide that. I do charge for that, but you can reach out to me either by email or messenger on one of the platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and YouTube. Depending on where you're viewing this video from, you can reach out to me and I will give you the details of how that works. But that is available. And I'm contemplating on possibly setting up a membership of some sort for those that desire private counsel. And it will be a flat rate, monthly rate, and you'll get a certain number of opportunities to have that counsel, should you need it. And it would be a better price point than scheduling an hour randomly or as needed. But I will keep you updated on that. I'm still trying to decide how I want to do that. Again, understanding thyself is the entire reason we're here. Developing our soul is the entire reason that we chose to be incarnated. And we are always interacting with energy. If you don't know what you're doing, it's hard to arrive at your goal. knowing and understanding how you use energy, how you interact with it, how you respond to it, gives you the ability to do it intentionally and consciously. So it's like, instead of all of your cells going, just randomly all over the place, you harness them and point them in a direction. I hope that that was helpful. I'm sending all my love to all of you and blessings on this Gemini new moon. I hope that you just really have some kind of intellectual breakthrough, epiphany moment, good news, support, something that comes through that opens your world up for you in a whole new way, in a better way. Many blessings to all of you, and I will talk to you soon.